This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com, and today we have a returning guest,
Woo!
giving her little Ric Flair woo there. He's getting a movie done by The Rock soon, for anyone who doesn't know.
Is he
Uh,
really?
former former TNA announcer, lead singer of the Goldilocks band, and you just oh, it's not Goldilocks band anymore?
It is Goldilocks, man. I was like, yeah, I was like
Oh
popping.
yes.
No, I
And you're a
appreciate
podcaster, former TV show host.
it. Yeah, still going with that
Uh,
though. Not for forever, just this month.
still going with that. You're amazing at saving money. Goldilocks, how are you doing today?
I had so well, and I just so appreciate you letting me drive by. We don't need to spend too long. We can catch up for a minute, but we got some new stuff going on, and you were gracious enough to have me back on your show. So thank you for that. What do I call you? Do I call you the Hannibal, or do I call you the
Yes,
other?
Hannibal is fine. And yes, the new stuff going on. I just actually watched the video.
Aw,
Just say yes, and if anyone goes to the comment section, you can click on the link for it. I got it at the bottom.
well, that was
I
nice
think
of you.
Yeah, I think it's got almost 60,000 views now, so that's pretty good. Just say yes. So
Yeah,
that video, by the way, excellent quality.
dude.
Tell me about the production of that.
We have an amazing guy that we found in Nashville. His name's Josh Shreve, and he's just super. I mean, I saw him with some horror stuff, and I was like, oh, it was super like dark but colorful, and he's got a really good eye. And we were talking with the band. We've got a new guitarist now, but with the old crew, it was still the same drummer. We were just like, what's something that we could do with Just Say Yes? That's not like a wedding or date sort of thing. And we originally came up with used car lot in the 70s, and but that would be really hard to pull off, with all the cars. And then we were like, what else can we do set in the 70s? And like, what about there was an old Carol Burnett skit with no, it was with Harvey Korman, Tim Conway, and Vicki Lawrence. It was like just old school, and I just was thinking, what about like vacuum cleaner sales people that would come to the door and kind of the whole thing was based off of that and just say yes, to that sale at the door. And this I knew you would appreciate this. It's the wrestling mind with that we have. I just was like, we need to do some sort of dance breakdown or something in it that we can turn it into a contest so that we can promote the video. So we got like a couple $1,000s in cash, which who can't use that? And Brett Michaels, who's in Poison, the band that he plays with when he's not with Poison is his own, the Brett Michaels band, and his guitarist, Pete Evick, owns Shining Soul Candle Company. So he's our sponsor, along with another company he's got, Virginia Spice, Virginia Sauce and Spice. So it worked out really, really well. But we just want to encourage people to go to goldilocksband.com, and at the top it'll say just say yes. Just click on it. There's this cool contest. All you got to do is write just say yes on an old crappy shirt and Shining Soul candles, just Shining Soul, and do this 8-bar little ditty, Hannibal. It's stupid easy. It doesn't even say in the rules that you need to do it well. Just dance around somewhat, get a few of the steps in there, and then just have people engage on your post. If it's Twitter, if it's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, just come the end of March, who's ever got the most legit engagement, not a bunch of fake stuff. Legit, people commenting on it. Whoever has the most, we reserve the right to judge the final outcome. We'll send you some cash, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, whatever. But $500 for the runner up and a grand for the winner, and then $500 worth of candles that will just kind of send people that booby prizes and whatnot. It's the consolation prizes. So that's it. It's really fun. Just a fun thing. Thanks for saying that about the video, though. I appreciate it.
I do have to say the video brought back some bad memories for me because I did one of my worst jobs ever
Oh
was I had to do like door-to-door salesman selling pizza coupons.
no! Oh,
And oh my
dude.
God, it was horrible. And it was during the summer, and you were only paid a percentage of what you sold. It was Pizza Hut coupons, and you had to start it off by saying, like, do you want free pizza? Do you like free pizza? And then slowly get into, well, you actually have to pay for this coupon thing. And it was horrible.
How
So it
did you
did
get
bring back some
that?
memory.
How did
Yeah.
you get that gimmick?
It was one of these false advertising things where they're saying they're looking for sports minded individuals for a physical job. and you show up and that's what it's for.
It's always some bullshit like that, isn't it? I had a very similar one, but mine wasn't even legit. It was some coupon book. And I remember the guy was always getting them printed at like not even as good as Kinko's. It was like some third world printing off center, these horrible happening books. They weren't even real. I don't even think he had any relationships with any of the car washes and things that you got this $100 book for $10 or $20. It was totally illegal. I think it was counterfeit. It was like through our college, through the University of Minnesota. It was a complete scam. I remember a couple of times like the cops gonna stop. He had a van with all of us like packing it in like third world again. We like disperse like rats in the neighborhood and we try to sell these shitty books and then it was awful. I did remember by accident I came up with, in case anybody out there is gonna have one of these jobs, here's a little gimmick for you. I was running because you only made money for what you sold, and I was like, it's almost the end of the shift. I haven't sold any books, and I was running. There was a low-hanging branch in some old lady's yard, and I hit my head, and well, she saw it, and I fell, and I was all disoriented. And well, she bought a bunch of books from me because she felt so bad. Well, then I made it a point that whatever yard I was running into, especially if people were outside barbecuing it, that I, hit my head and I sold it, and flailed around on the ground. So I'd say 80% of the books that I sold were all for sympathy, Hannibal. So, don't knock it till you try it, but it worked.
Mine were for sympathy too, but because they could see I was like covered in sweat and not good at it, so they just be like, "Here you go."
How
But whatever.
sad. You know what? I think those jobs give you, I don't know. I think they give you integrity. They help you. They help build you. They make you, like sandpaper. They rough you up a little bit. Like I don't think kids these days, they don't have the same kind of grit that we have and had because of what we had to do. It was just everything's a lot more cush these days. I never had anybody picking me up from school. I'll tell you that. These freaking lines at like, it seems like it's getting more and more and more. There's traffic jams. There's all these freaking kids, and you can't get anywhere because there's like, like nobody stopped for me. Like I'd get on a bus or walk or go home in snow shoes or cross country skis on the blizzard days. Like there wasn't anybody to come pick us up. It's a different story now. The kids are too soft.
Now most people, at least here in this part of Canada, have like they hire people to shovel their driveways where you probably had to shovel your own. Because
Oh
I know
yeah.
you were from Wisconsin or Minnesota, right?
Yep.
One
Yep.
of those. So you haven't been in Nashville all your life. You've dealt with
No.
real snow.
No, we've had we like blizzards where literally there was no phones and was one landline in the principal's office and it was like school's out and all the phones were dead and there was nobody to call and if you wanted to go home they weren't going to let you stay at the school. They literally point to two bins. One had cross country skis on one and the other had those big ball bins. The other had snowshoes. And then you just got a bunch of friends and you went home. Nobody knew if you were going to fall on this. It was like 2 feet with snow, like almost up to your chest as a kid. So you had snowshoes or whatever. Nobody knew if you were going to make it home or not or freeze to death in 15, 20 below zero. There was no way to get to you because it was a blizzard. And they just sent the kids home. Hope you made it.
Well, now we're just talking about that we're both not. Well, I'm going to say you look very young, but I'm
Oh,
not the youngest.
yeah.
So
Well,
now
you're
I just feel like an old person
You're
telling
young.
those stories.
Oh no, but I'm just saying like we're not old. There's a huge jump between the last 10 years in technology and just how things go and everybody's feelings matter. So if I hear one more kid's freaking feelings, like we didn't have that growing up. Like you just dealt with stuff. And I'm glad because it makes you a little callous and like I said, it roughens you up so that you can actually handle real situations. Or are people actually flagging on the bottom? Do you have people saying anything?
Yes, you got people saying hello.
Oh, what's up? Oh, hey. Oh, I didn't even see that, you guys. I'm always looking at the camera. Well, let's address people.
Somebody wants to
Yeah,
know, will you
drip
come back to TNA if they
uh,
ask you to come back? Now that
constantly
there's
trying to figure that out. Like, I would love to. And I know there's been a change in the hierarchy at TNA. Not that Scott Zamora and he was a dear colleague and good guy. And I know that things are changing. No, I want to come back to pro wrestling more than anything now that, like, I'm not old, but I'm older, Hannibal. You know, we know it's cooking now. I think I could give you guys some really good TV. Like I said, I'd like to come back as a heel. I'd like to come back on the more evil side of things. But anybody that's watching this, listen to our promo. It's $2K. If that's a bill or two to pay, like, do this stupid dance. Somebody's gonna win the money. A lot of girls are doing it. I need some bros. I need dudes to do this dance. Come on. It's really dumb. Just do it. Put a bag over your head for all I care. Just do the dance. That's what he said.
I think I just somehow lost your sound. It doesn't say you're
Really?
muted or anything.
Oh, you know what?
Fans, can you hear?
I didn't have my microphone by
Let me
me the
check
entire
something.
time. Can you hear me? Take your time.
Weird.
You want me to leave?
Let me just take you in and out.
How
Does
about
that
now?
make any difference?
Can you hear me?
You can hear me. This is weird. I can't. Can
Here.
you come in and out because it shut off just as you were giving your plug, and
Okay, hold on.
I'll plug it that it's on this site. But could you
Hold
just
on. Here
pop
we
in and
go.
out to see if
Hold
it's that?
on.
Sorry, fans. She'll be back, and yeah, well, if there's any fan questions, we will definitely ask that.
Okay, it's working.
Okay, there she
Yeah.
is. And
You can hear me?
yes, now I hear you.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. So we need some people to do this doggone dance. Shit, why didn't you tell me that my microphone was over there for the whole 10 minutes that we were talking? Could you even hear me at all before?
I could, but actually, you're much more clear now. Where are you? This is cool. Last time, I think you were in your living room.
I'm in my studio. This is my studio. Yes. Got some awards and whatnot. We have done some cool stuff. So not just your schleppy band that's out there.
Well, tell me about these awards. I don't know if your camera can move, but I see some framed flashing.
Yeah. So we got a billboard, a 1 and a 2. The 1 was for it's actually debuted on Russo's brand. That's who housed the corresponding video to that. It was Black, Pearl Jam's Black. So we did a remake of that, a reinvented version, and it went to number 2 on Billboard. And then I did Yellow Ledbetter from oh God, hello, Led Zeppelin. And that went to number 1. So that was pretty cool. It's neat. Yeah.
Have you ever had fights with band members, or is it always been the same crew and the
No,
Goldilocks
it's
band?
tons of fights. So I started my deal with Prince and all of that. I mean, I was a baby. Hi there, Willie T. Oh shit. Damn, brother. Would you do the contest so that I can plug you, please? Listen, everybody that's entering this contest, I repost it. Like, you can put it on. Thank you. You can put it on hello, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Some people even put it on LinkedIn, whatever. But I repost all of that and just put you over. It's really good. It's positive. No, I don't get along with everybody all the time. I've had horrendous people in the band. I've had some wonderful people in the band. We've gotten in fist fights. I've whipped out a tampon and threw it in somebody's face. That's how pissed I was. I mean, no, we get heated. You can't be in a vehicle. I mean, you know, when you're going to wrestling things and stuff, when you're riding with somebody, that gets old. Who was I talking to? It was Eric Watts talking about Raven, like just on the road with Raven and Vince and like the fights that they used to get into. And just Raven would kind of push the envelope on some things just to see if he could stir the pot. You know, like, no, we've gotten in physical fights before. This time around, we've got like the nicest, calmest, kindest crew of guys ever, which it almost feels like because there's no abuse or no drama, like there's something wrong. I have to kind of just like today was a perfect example. We had a really big interview with a magazine and it's Country Music Week, and we slid by, even though we're pop rock, we slid by and got the interview, and like everybody showed up on time, early, dressed appropriately. They didn't ask for the address 50 times. It was really odd. It's sort of like people that are out there that have been in abusive relationships. When you finally get out of it and you're just around nice, normal people, it's almost like, what's wrong? Like, you know what I mean? Like there's something foreign, and then you got to get used to the situation. With icky guys, like I dated a lot of douchebag guys. I thought that was a green screen. No, bro. I dated so many icky guys, and now I won't tolerate that shit at all. And it's like when you're around a nice guy, ladies or guys, that works both ways. It's a lot of guys that are around abusive chicks, and once you get out of that,
I've actually found that. I actually had a terrible experience with that.
well, it's
So it does
hard.
happen.
And then nobody wants to believe the guy, like that there could possibly anything wrong with the woman, and there's a
Yeah.
lot wrong with some crazy bitches out there. What was your
Yeah,
experience?
I ended up having to be on bail for a year and a half and spend 3.5 weeks in jail, only to go to court and say, "You're fully clear. She has no case." It's just because I was a guy, basically, that the cops. Unfortunately, that happens, but there are women that are abusive,
Yeah.
and she's actually going to court next week on her charges, which she had 6 charges relating to abusing me, and she's definitely getting some convictions out of that. But
Well,
it's funny. Everybody reported on it when it happened, and then when I'm cleared, not one person
your audio
reported
drop.
on me being cleared.
I'll report on you being clear. Come on my show. We'll talk about you being clear.
Okay.
I'm all justice for all. Like I just said, I didn't
Yeah.
need to say guys are.
I
I'm
was
totally.
attacked with a hot curling iron. I was attacked brutally with a hot curling iron.
The
I
last
take
guy
it
that I
personally.
dated, I almost punched him in the face. I think he thought I was going to, but I didn't. But I wanted to scare him and make him think that I was, because he was so out of control. And you know what? That chick might be fine with somebody else, and you might be fine with somebody else, but you get together and it's just toxic. I want to see what these comments are. What can I see the comments? I'm looking at you. Where are these comments coming in?
Someone
Keith Leg?
hopes you're having a great day.
Fiery. Hello. If your band could open for any band out there, who would it be? Oh, what's up, you guys? Sweethearts. You know what? We have opened for just about everybody on our bucket list. We've opened for, except there's one that I asked to open for. You're gonna die. So this is like really old school, but I love their music. That you're gonna laugh. Don't laugh. I love their music. I think they're the greatest songwriters of all time. I'll give this video a thumbs up. We would like to open for Air Supply and rock that house. I'm not even kidding.
Air Supply, I like. They
Dude,
have some
they're
good
so
songs.
good. They're so good. We want to do a remake of one of their songs, and I would love to open for them. They just were one of the biggest bands of all time. Of course, all your heavier rock bands would be great. We've really opened for everybody that there is to open for. Like we've really opened for tons of great people. We're opening for.
So tell us some names. Tell us some names, because people are
like
lazy.
your old school ones like Pat Benatar and Ted Nugent. I was on his TV show, and Stevie Nicks. Willie Nelson was interesting to open for. What an interesting fit. Styx, like the older rock bands, and then like One Republic, Puddle of Mud, Three Doors Down, Nickelback. Those were fun to open for. We're getting ready to open for Saliva. That'll be fun. They had a great, a bunch of great hits. That'll be neat. Pop Evil. Just, everybody on the circuit, like we just play a lot. Like now our music, Just Say Yes, is really fun. It's pop, it's bright. But with our new guitarist, Johnny Oro, he's a rock guy, and he's a darker rock guy. So he's coming up with beautiful riffs, but like everything that I'm writing is really dark. But it's not like depressing dark. Like everything has to come from a place of empowerment. I'm not about writing sad shit, but some really interesting stuff. The next one that we're going to do is called Talking to Myself. And total straitjacket gimmick, padded walls, creepy. Billie Eilish did a video that I forgot about, that I was like, it should be like this. And the guy's like, yeah, like Billie Eilish has been. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly it. So we'll probably be taking some names and numbers from that really creepy horror one that she did. Just dark. Like art is art. I don't care what. It can be Just Say Yes. It can be some dancing and stuff like that. It can be horror. It can be anything in between, as long as you're doing something creative. And like, we want to keep, this is why it's important. Listen, if you guys are watching this, go do this freaking contest, because we're going to take all of your entries, winners and runners up, and Hannibal will put that in a folder, and then we'll go after the next sponsor for the next time and say, can we get $5,000 in prizes? And then the next time around, maybe it's $7,500. Then maybe it's like, We just want to be out doing our thing, coming up with reasons and ways to give you money and fun, free shit. Like that's pure joy. So that's what we want to do. So you got to do the contest. I think she
Did
opened
you
for Pink.
open for Pink?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that was one of the first gigs that we ever did. It was terrifying. And the PA went out. Everything went out just like our audio went out earlier. We were on a huge stage in Staten Island, New York. I guess it's just Staten Island, New York. And the PA went out. You couldn't hear anything. It was in front of all these people. It was really scary. But yeah, she's like the nicest person ever. So is Britney Spears. Super, super, super nice. Nice people.
Oh, tell us your Britney Spears story.
We just were always promoting. She got the big record deal, and because she had a huge following with the Mickey Mouse Club, and I got the really small record deal. It was, but she got Jive Records, and I got one through Paisley Park. So, Jack Satter, he's one of the people. If you look him up, still talk to him today. He was always like, "I wish we could have signed you." You know what though? Who knows if I would have gotten signed right around that time, Britney, Christina Aguilera, maybe I would have lost my mind too. Like there's always a reason for everything. I never look back and say, I wish that I would have had the fame that Britney had or that Christina had. Like they got signed. They had a bigger following than me. I could sing really well. We were all in the same camp. But I'd like to think that I'm a pretty down to earth person. I don't have the attitude or ego that one of those ladies has. And then the other one just seems like they're not mentally in a good place these days. And who can blame her? Like, what a life. They've led a really interesting life. We can't judge unless we've walked in somebody else's shoes. And I don't think I would have wanted to walk in her shoes. So we're getting some great success a little later on in life. And I recognize it and I can appreciate it. And I just want to bring everybody along with us for the ride. That's like the most joy I could ever have. That's why we want you to do this contest. That's why I'm on this show. Plug in this damn contest. Yeah.
Did you read Britney Spears' new book?
I did not. Did
Oh.
you?
No, I would like to though. It sounds interesting. I probably will at least audiobook it.
I was going to say audiobook is my jam because I can do that at the gym. I wish that I had the time to just sit and read. I think reading is really good for you, the hand-eye, the coordination of your brain reading words. I just don't always have the time to take a dump or do my laundry, let alone read right now. So it's crazy. Like there's just so much to do. I wish I could clone myself. I'm sure you understand that feeling, like just to get more done. There's so much to do. Like I really like to work. Some people always want to take a break and whatnot. Like I just can't wait to get more stuff done. So that's where I'm at.
Somebody says, "Sweet thing, can I buy you a fish sandwich?"
Now, is that like a sexual innuendo? JR Wiz? Don't get too gross because I got enough of that in my DMs. So I don't know.
No, didn't you make a fish sandwich for someone or something? In one of your
Did I make a fish sandwich? Refresh JR Jizwiz Jizzer. Refresh my memory with the fish sandwich thing. I'm sure there's some gimmick that I did. Have you ever sung at the same music as Mickey James? No. And I'm trying to get Mickey. See, Mickey. I'm trying to get Mickey to do a song with me. I've got one in the works, and I'm trying to get her to let me slide into her DMs. She's really cool about getting back to me. So it's actually something really kind of haunting that I want to do with her. So I'll see what she has to say about that. Chris Jericho, I've been trying to play with him for years. Not like that. Don't get it twisted.
Have you met him over the years?
Never did. Never met him. I would totally want to talk shop. I mean, look at what he just did at Wembley. Like, wow. Woo! Is that a dream come true?
Sorry, that was it. Did your band ever come to Wisconsin? Like Green Bay?
Green Bay. Okay, so we are getting ready to come to Oshkosh, Wisconsin on the 22nd of March, but we're actually playing, drumroll, a retirement community. We're playing for some more mature people. It's a private event. I'm going to be taking photographs all day. I have a photography business. So you're in the back room of one of my studio rooms. So we're going to be taking pictures of seniors all day. And then we're going to rock them out for a very, how do I do it? Soft rock. For a very soft rock, acoustic, upright bass kind of jam. We're going to play for an hour, get some rest, and then we're going to head out to Downers Grove, Illinois, which is a little bit of a ways from where you're at in Green Bay. So we're going to play.
Lanny Poffo, the wrestler's fake hometown is Downer Grove.
Is it really?
The wrestling fans will like that.
Oh, it's sweet. Yeah, we're gonna play Downers Grove. It's a really, really awesome pub. They have the best food ever. Great stage. We packed it the last time we were there. Just tore the house down, so they're having us back on March 23rd. I can't wait.
And apparently the fish sandwich is from Ladies Man, which I don't think I ever saw that.
Oh,
Who's in Ladies Man?
Ladies Man, like the SNL skit, like Ladies Man, or like the movie.
I think the movie.
The fish sandwich, I don't know. It still sounds like a sexual innuendo. So, I mean, I'm down for that. If you want to explain it to the blonde, I'll make a fish sandwich to
Yeah,
make you happy.
my brain is dead from too many hits to the head. Tell me about Pat Benatar, that experience, because I'm a fan of her.
Interesting. I don't want ever I don't like to ever say anything negative. Like, I mean, she's super talented and probably deserves the right to be as eccentric as she is, but she's very eccentric. So, as people would probably say about me, like they're like, chick's really weird. I went on a date a while ago, and this was like the most gorgeous man that I've ever seen, like beautiful dresser. And dude, I scared him with like the first 5 minutes. He's like, "Well, what do you do?" I'm like, I don't really want to tell you what I do because it'll just freak you. Sure as hell if he's totally freaked him out. And I'm sure he just thinks I'm like so eccentric. And you know what? Maybe I am. Miss Benatar is very, very, she probably reserves the right to be that eccentric. But there's other rockers that are like so down to earth and so cool, like Joan Jett, like the most down to earth, chill chick you'll ever meet, playing for the other team, but like really respectful to chicks. She's one of the best tippers in the whole business. Like, and that's how you know somebody's like badass and good to the core, when the chambermaids and when the bartenders and when the people doing janitorial services say, she left me a tip. She was really kind to me. Like her, Lita Ford, like just two of the like salt of the earth, most beautiful women rockers that are out there. I don't know how they're still doing what they're doing, but they're out there just doing their thing. So
Hall and Oates, Samuel wants to know about.
Hall and Oates. I just feel so. I've seen so many interesting articles about Hall and Oates. Goldilocks versus Hollywood from Glow. Can you imagine? Aw.
You know
Hall
her?
and Oates, I do.
I've interviewed her a couple times.
Yeah, I was gonna say, she wasn't on my pod, but I was trying to get her on. Hall and Oates just have so much like drama going on right now with all their lawsuits and everything like that. And then I read a couple articles like how many women the one guy was with, and he was just like talking about how back in the day there was no cameras. Remember Hannibal? Like you could just do what you wanted to do. There's no repercussions.
Yeah, things have changed so. But I was just telling the other day, like to be a bouncer now is horrible because the moment you take someone outside, everyone shoots the cameras on you, not knowing anything what happened inside. So
exactly,
your job is so much more dangerous, but in so many ways, it's worse now.
I remember it was Little Rock, Arkansas, and the guy was being really disrespectful. And I said, if you do that one more time, I'm going to knock the shit out of you. And he did. He looked right at me and he walked over, and it was a ceramic pumpkin. It was an upscale like steakhouse that we were playing at. And people came for the music. Like the restaurant was on one side with pool tables and whatnot. Really nice steakhouse. And then there was just a whole live music with tables, very Vegas vibe. And this guy was just drunk and grabbing these beautiful ornaments, different things for Halloween decorations, and just smashing them. I said, if you smash one more pumpkin, I'm going to smash your face. And he just looked right at me and he walked over and he smashed it and the club owner was just like an interesting guy. And he said, I don't care what you do, just take it outside. And I'm like, all right. So I took him out and pushed him outside, dragged him. He was drunk, knocked him down, did some stuff, I mean, there was no cameras because that's why he said, take it outside. There's a couple times when I knocked the living shit out of people, and I missed that. I missed 3 times in my career.
Viral now.
Yeah, well, 3 times in my career, I've knocked the shit out of people. I can recall them like they were yesterday, and I miss those days because I can guarantee one was a dumb bitch in Orange Beach, Alabama, who was just acting up. She was super disrespectful. I had promo cards at the edge of the stage in stacks. She picked up my promo
dumb
cards.
In Alabama? Seriously? I don't believe it.
She picked up my promo cards and threw them in the air. Probably $50 worth of promo cards. And I was like in shock. And then she did it again. And I was like, what? I said, pick up my cards. Pick up my promo cards. And she would not. And I don't know what came over me, but there were no cameras. And it was a boot to the face. And I think I broke her nose. Okay, that was one. The pumpkin guy, that was another one. And then there was another one somewhere in South Carolina. I had a lot of friends in the LGBTQ kitty lick lick. I can't keep track of all the things. Show up, and some of them were African American. And one guy literally came up to me and said, "Are you a blank blank lover?" And I'm like, oh, "What?" Like he was going to cover demographics, sexual orientation, all in one like slur. And I was like, apparently, and these guys were just like, "Thank you." These guys were just like my gay buddies. They brought a whole bunch of guys. Like they were excited to see the show. Everybody's welcome. And they were so terrified. And they're like, "Should we leave Goldilocks?" I'm like, "No, you're not going to leave." And I was like, "Let's just go out. Let's just go outside." And he's like, "Are you a blank blank lover?" And I was like, "Well, let's just see. Let's go out." So again, no cameras outside. And I mean, I was going to deck the guy. I think I blew on him and he was so drunk he just fell over. But then I worry. Just like, I worry like they're going to fall and like crack their not Billy Corgan. Good point. I worry that they're going to like crack their head open and then sue me or something. So I don't touch anybody anymore. But I got 3 really good instances in my life where I got to just kick the shit out of somebody, and boy, did it feel good. I miss those days. Oh, violence isn't the answer. Sometimes it is.
Is there any wrestler you've encountered over the years that you would have liked to beat up for real, and why?
No. All the stuff that people say, I was like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and there was stuff going around with, there was not a Me Too movement, but it was a Me Too movement within the wrestling. It was something. They had like a hashtag. Everybody would reach out to me and say, "Will you tell us what happened in all the years that you've been in professional wrestling?" And zero. Like every guy has been so completely respectful to me and kind and had my back. And there's a reason why I can just saunter on to everybody's podcast every time I ask. It's like, I still have really great relationships with everybody. And even people that have talked really poorly about me, like Alex Shelley, just like hates my guts. I don't know what I did to the guy. I can't say I'm sorry for what I did to him because I don't know what I did. And I didn't intentionally do anything to him. I was at the
He's very
TNA.
overrated, by the way. I
I
guess he was
say
one of Scott D'Amore's suck ups, but to
was
me, he's
I
very
was gonna
boring.
I was gonna say I saw him at the I saw him at the Slammiversary, and I was excited to see him because it brought back memories of good memories. Like we did some really cool bits in my eyes. And I walked up to him. I didn't go to shake his hand, but I went up to talk to him. No, I think I did shake his hand. I'm blocking it out because it was like it was going to hurt my feelings. And then anything that is upsetting to me, I just block out from my childhood. I think I went to shake his hand and he just walked away. Or that I could be wrong. I went up to approach him and talk to him and he just walked away. Either way, it was a complete diss. And I just thought, I felt sorry for him, Hannibal, because it was 20 years ago, and whatever you're hanging on to. Now, I did walk up to Tracy Brooks, and I was like, I said, "I don't know, like, I think things were catty, back when we were, and she was so freaking nice to me, and like, oh my God, Goldy, it was 19, 20 years ago, like, she was just fantastic, like, and that is how." I feel sorry for people that hold on to baggage. Like, you got to just live your best life. And like 20 years ago, 20 minutes ago, I was a different person. I'm not the same person I was back when I was in
Yeah,
TNA, you
I
know?
fully agree. I fully agree with that.
Yeah.
And
So,
honestly, he's a nobody. Nobody watches that. Nobody watches TNA. It doesn't even get a 0.01 rating.
I would still love to be a part of it if they had me. I would love to do what I could to bump things up or help in any way. Or I always say, bring me on, I'll be the glue. I've even talked to Billy Corrigan about some angles and things like that. He's a really interesting guy to talk to. So intelligent. So intelligent.
Both Billy Corgan and Impact Wrestling could use a lot of help on the creative side. Both are pretty much unwatchable, and
I
I've
mean,
tried.
what about WWE? Don't think they need any help? I mean,
They all need help, but definitely those two. Well, MLW would be in the low end too, but NWA and Impact, they probably suffered the worst from AEW's creation.
okay. So you're saying AEW is good. No, well,
No, like they signed like be, because AEW became number two. It's like there's even less talented people for those other three companies.
I got
I'm not
it.
saying it's better.
I would say though, when I have been at some of Billy's tapings, Hire Russo. Hey, we got some Packers people. I love it. When I've been there taping and watching things, maybe things get cut, or maybe you don't see things the way that I saw them when we were actually physically there. I not disagree with you, but I just want to point out some of the good stuff. Like I've seen some really dark matches. I've seen some really good up and coming talent where I was like, wow, this is really good. There's a lot of talent. There's some good promos. There's some funny stuff. There's some bad stuff too, but that's everywhere. But the last couple of tapings that I went to for NWA, there was some cool shit in there. I was proud to be there.
You'd have to pay me to watch any wrestling show in full nowadays. I
Fair
won't
enough.
watch it.
Fair
But
enough.
I'm not saying it's all bad. I mean, I'm sure there's some good stuff. But when I was in the hospital with an ankle injury recently, I tried to watch a full episode of TNA, and I think there's like a very high percentage of out of shape men wearing skimpy outfits that are like straight up like tights that are up their ass, and big guts, either shirtless or in singlets that really accentuate it. I don't know.
So,
I found that they should have, maybe you could help them with wardrobe.
oh God, I was just on Alan Funk's pod right before yours, and we were just talking about. He's like, "Hey, have you seen the fairgrounds?" Oh, I love MJF. Yeah, right. There, if you go to our band, the Goldilocks band, whoever just flagged it, if you go to goldilocksband.com, there's press at the top, one of the drop downs. One of the most recent press thing is me going off about MJF, just about how much I love how he just everything is a shoot with him. And I dig it. Alan Funk, Queewee. Yeah, that's whose show I was just on. I like MJ. I think he I just dig him. And we were talking about, Alan and I, just the fairgrounds. Like he's like, "Oh, it's so beautiful now and it's all redone." Like I would love to go back in time. It was so dirty and raw, and anything you wanted to say, you could say it. Nobody cared. You could swear. It was so much sexual harassment, and it's like, that's what I signed up for, and I just dished it right back and was put out and bothered. Sexual harassment, like on the show, not like the boys like really hurting me or doing anything like that. Yeah, two good guys, MJF and Alan Funk. It was so rough around the edges, and I think like that's why people really like the old TNA, is just because the shit. I can definitely vouch for you that 90% of what you saw was just like us coming up with stuff on the spot. And like when I went and started doing all my crazy characters, and I was a different character each week, like I legitimately found out where Russo, Jeff Jarrett, Jerry Jarrett, Bob Ryder, like they used to have, is Goldy doing any more TLC? God, I really wish that I would, because that's really fun to do. They used to have private meetings, and one of them was at the Lowe's Vanderbilt swanky hotel downtown up West End. And I remember like taping my eyes. I had like this hardcore tape, and then I had this black china little bob and a geisha dress. And I remember like the geisha shoes. And I remember I bribed like Jeremy Borash, somebody in the office, like, "God, tell me where's this meeting at?" And I dressed up in my gimmick, and I went and I covered the peephole. I did this gimmick, and I was like, and I spoke in like sort of I don't know what it was. It was like some like hybrid Asian English accent. But anyway, they're like, "Who is it?" And I was like, I came up with a fake name, and they opened the door, and I was like, "I'm here for the meeting." And like their faces were just like, what is this? And I pushed my way in, and it was like, none of them figured out who I was for like 3 or 4 minutes. And I was like, "Look, it's my gimmick. It's me. It's Goldy. This is what I want to do. I want to literally like go insane and become like Sybil." Yes, I think he is still with WWE. I wanted to go lose my mind, and I was going to show them like, look, I can be really convincing. So every week on TNA, I just got to be a different person. It wouldn't fly now. It was so politically incorrect, all this stuff. It is, and it's not real. Like the WWE stuff is just so uncomfortable to watch for me because it's so scripted. I don't feel like there's any room at all for anybody to do their thing. And you know what? There's probably a reason for that. You know, probably is a disaster waiting to happen. We didn't
Yeah,
have a lot of money.
they don't have the experience. They don't have the experience, so it's
But
just like they couldn't do it well.
think about when TNA, all the people that joined TNA, like they were just coming off of like a bunch of stuff. Like they just got fired from WCW and they just got this, and like they were hungry. You know, I remember being on the plane from LAX to BNA Nashville with the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels. It's like he had a broken neck on his way to do this first, you know, pay-per-view taping. It's like, he was like, yeah, I have a broken neck and a broken like this, and this. What's your thoughts on Vince McMahon? Good question. We'll get to that in 2 seconds. So, I mean, these guys all wanted their spot, AJ. The Vince McMahon situation, I'm always not the person to ask on that because I've got such a skewed, different opinion than most women. So, of course, and don't take this out of context, of course, a victim needs to come forward. I would not wish upon anybody that comes through with abuse that tells their story. Like, that's so hard and so important because there's going to be people like me who say, why'd you wait so long? Or I'm just being honest with you. Or why did you put yourself in that situation? Or now, the only thing that really bothered me about the Vince McMahon situation is some of the people defending the victim, you know, they're saying, well, she was always drugged. She was always doped up. They handed out somas back in the locker room like they were candy. Well, then you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, everything that happened to you, horrific, never should have happened. But like, let's learn for guys and girls and the young people out there, like, don't put yourself in situations where you're going to get hurt. Like when I'm at a show, this is how I drink my stuff. Nobody's handing me any open drinks. I'm not going to have anybody slip in some shit and do whatever they want to do to me. Like, you know, we know that now. If you go to somebody's hotel, first off, don't go to somebody's hotel room. When somebody's like, oh, well, do you want to have a meeting with me? I'm like, okay, sure. Where? Well, do you want to come up to my hotel room? My answer is no. Meet me in the lobby and show me some respect. I'm not your dick and I'm not doing blah, blah, blah. I just lay it out. I make a little joke about it, but I'm really like, boom, serious. I don't flirt. I don't. And then if I did happen to be like, I'm like, oh, well, my room's right there. That's been happened before. We've been walking. They're like, oh, my hotel's right here. Let me get something. It's like, oh, do you want to like, I'm not going to like meet somebody at their room in a robe. Or if somebody starts to get out of line or like going down that road of like, I put my brakes on. So I wasn't there. I don't know her story. It's horrific, but I do know if I was going to be working around a bunch of like entertainers, sports, athletes, men, people, whatever, humans, I probably wouldn't be, I probably wouldn't be in a place where I would be out of control of myself because you don't know what's going to happen. So that never gets addressed in all of this mix. Yes, we want justice for a victim. I would hate all of the stuff is awful that you hear about, but like, it's Vince McMahon. You don't think like a bunch of shit like that happens all the time. You know, you don't think like that stuff happens in lots of jobs and in sports entertainment and in everything. And in our US military, it happens in everything. My point is I always look at it and think like, what could I have done to prevent that? I'm a big preventative person.
The one thing I say is that people like say he's more protected because of how rich and famous he is. Like, I just don't think we hear about it from like Burger King managers because nobody cares. I don't
True.
think they're necessarily more protected. If anything, if it comes out, it becomes a massive news story.
I'm surprised more things don't come out. But again, she's the victim because you are afraid of your job. I've been in that situation but I was afraid of my job getting lost in the early TNA years. That's documented in Jerry Jarrett's book. I went to Bob Ryder, Jeff Jarrett, Jerry Jarrett, and said, this guy's calling me and saying that he wants to my every night. And you gave him my phone number because he said he needed to talk to me about something. And now he's like calling and leaving these horrible abusive messages and whatnot. And I mean, I still have the tapes today. I said I destroyed them, but I don't. I didn't. I
Who
still
was
have
it?
them. It was actually
Alex Shelley?
no, not a wrestler. Remember I told you, never a wrestler bothered me. It was one of the financial liaisons from Panda Electric, which that's where Dixie came from. And that's where her parents ran Panda Electric or had something to do with it. And it was the guy that came and paid us all. They got my phone number and would call and say this like drunk, horrible things that if I would have sued Panda Electric, I had tapes, those old tape recorders. Like I had that and the voicemails on my old Nokia phone. I had all that. Like I could have sued and brought the house down, and then there would have been no. I'm telling you, there would have been no TNA if I would have sued Panda Electric.
Hey, you
Their
should do, isn't there some loophole
statute.
recently? Yeah, statute was taken back. You should do it now to the current TNA.
I was actually
Thing.
thinking about that
You
the other
really
day. I was
should.
like, I wonder what the statute of limitation is because I still have those
They
tapes.
extended it. They extended it.
Woo!
That's how that Rita Charlton referee that alleged she was raped in the 80s never got a settlement then from Vince, but got one now. So
Wow.
you could
Well, it
probably
wouldn't
get
be.
some
It
money
wouldn't be.
now.
I don't know if it would be TNA. It was Panda Electric that was doing it. TNA
Well,
was fine. Yeah, check it out, right?
I don't think
Me and
anything
you,
bad could come out of it for you other than more publicity and money.
right?
Hey, and maybe you should sue Mike D while you're at it for his sexual harassment.
Mike D, I would give you a fresh infant. What the hell does that even mean, Mike D? God, a fresh
Uh,
infant. Oh my.
Someone says WWE might work. Sucks beyond Cody.
You don't like
That's
Cody?
no, I'm reading this, guys.
I know. I'm
I
saying
don't
he doesn't
watch
like
it.
Beyond Cody. He doesn't like. Oh, he
No.
likes Cody. Oh, I was like, Cody's got good mic work. You don't like him?
Thoughts on Roxanne Perez, who I don't know who that is.
I don't know who Roxanne Perez is. Renee. Renee, type back and who that is exactly. But thank you for asking. Man, you've got a lot of really great people on your show. Oh, I agree. Control people and company and take a certain amount of because that's how the problems.
Well, you might have a
Yeah,
point
true.
there.
Well, yeah, you got really
I believe this is
intelligent people.
a lawyer actually writing that as well.
Brian?
Yes, Brian.
Brian's a lawyer. Brian's a good looking
from New
lawyer.
York.
Brian L. Burson. Wow.
Yes.
Well, thank you for being here tonight, Mr. Burson. So yes, Hands on the Wicked. Some of it's me and some of it's not. I wrote the verse about somebody that I was dating at the time, which we'll never talk about who, but I've got something broken, a little rough around the edges, and it cuts me into pieces. Slices my something was about somebody that I was dating at the time. And then there was some other chorus thing that somebody else sang that's not me. If you listen, there's two totally different voices on that. But yeah, I wrote the verses, and then Dale Oliver, who did all the music, cut it together with something else to make Hands of the Wicked. So I sang and wrote a ton of entrance music for TNA. I just never got paid and never made any money off it. What was your question? How did Goldilocks write any songs? Yes. Yes. If you can see my love, like up there is like a full-on CDs. Oh, thanks, Renee. Let me see. I might not be wearing pants, and I might, but this is one that's really interesting that people don't know about. I'm gonna grab a couple. It's story time. Here, Hannibal. Nobody ever gets these. I'm gonna grab this.
Is it that cold there that you're wrapped in a blanket? It's
I'm in a weird mood today.
I get in weird moods. So let's tell stories. Where's Renee? Is she here? Come on, Renee. Let me know that you're here because I'm gonna tell you some stories that people don't know about. Okay, here is a close. We're getting towards our time. I don't want to bore everybody with all these stories. We were playing a club in Alabama again. And when I walked in, the manager, he rolled his eyes and he was like, oh God, another chick singer. And I was like, he goes, I suppose you're just going to be listening to a bunch of sugar pop all night. And, you know, like naming popular female artists at the time and saying, I'm going to vomit. And I was like, what's your deal, brother? And he's like, well, I just want to hear rock music. And I was like, all right, well, he was like making fun of me, like really hardcore. Like he wasn't even like a good banter. He was just like, obviously had like a really small dick and like was angry about it or something. So completely dissing me. And I was just like, you know what? What would you like? What would you like us to play tonight? What would make you happy? Like what rock bands? And he's like, oh, I don't know my favorite band of all time. And I was like, oh, who would that be? And he's like, Tool. I was like, okay, cool. I said, Tool's cool. He's like, you don't know anything about Tool. And he just totally insulted me. Like I'm some dumb ditzy blonde. And I was like, I know a lot about Tool. He's like, oh yeah. And he just like challenged me. Right. And I said, all right, hey, look, we're not going to get an argument about stuff. I'm not going to argue with you about Tool. I said, do you know anything about the lead singer. Oh, I know everything about the lead. No, okay. I said, well, do you know that he's got side projects and he's got this thing called like the Vagina Remix? He's like, oh, the guy like was like jizzing in his mouth. I don't even know how to explain. Like it wasn't a froth. It was like a full on jizz. He couldn't get his phone like fast enough. And I was like, oh, like that. And I was like, so anyway, I said, well, the next time you look at that album, I said, why don't you look through the credits? You know, why don't you? So anyway, what I was getting at is I've done a lot for a lot of artists, but it's always been ghostwriting. So like this, the very album that he was pointing on, like I'm singing several times on this, like, and this is Pussifer and it is Maynard James Keenan. It's an awesome record. It charted. It did really well. And there's a couple of tracks on here that I'm singing on. So that was kind of fun. Like when I could actually say like to that guy, what's another one? Okay. This is TNA's original volume 2. I was in charge of everything. I'm a dude. Oh, you're a dude. My bad. I apologize. I didn't know. I was in charge of everything when TNA first started out because they didn't have any money. There was no Dixie Carter. There was just like, again, like raw and real. So like all of the music on this, most of it I wrote and sang on. And then like the graphics for it, I did all the liner notes. And then I was trying to think of something sexy to do on the back. So I don't know if you can see this or not. It is a picture of a lady standing there. You can see it. It's my ass in a G-string on an old, like crappy flip phone. And I just kind of pixelated it, made it look cool. And those are my high heels. And that's me on the back of that. And nobody will ever know that except for your people now. And the last one, this is Lordy. This is a metal band somewhere in Scandinavia. I don't know, whatever.
Oh, that's a very cool cover.
Isn't that cool? It's called Babes and what is it called? Babies for Breakfast. So anyway, I'm all over that too. And Michael Wagner was the producer who did like Skid Row and Metallica's first couple of records and like everybody huge. So yeah, I do sing on a lot of stuff. As I said, it's all up there, but nobody will ever know about it. On the Anderson death, I didn't know him. That's really sad news though. My thoughts are I wish everybody would be healthier in sports entertainment because they all start dropping at a certain age and we all know why. So I wish that people would live a healthier.
Oh God, I didn't realize that. I thought it
you
was
get
no
to
Brutus
suck
Beefcake.
Brutus Beefcake? Like, did I get to suck him? That's interesting.
You even know who Brutus Beefcake is?
Yeah, I have a picture of him right now on my other computer. I actually know Brutus and we've gone to dinner before after shows. He's been really cool to me. So Brutus Beefcake. Why is it? What a random thing.
You have the haters out now.
Who's the hit on me? Oh,
you've had a lot of positive, but some haters.
So Mike Gonzalez says no talent hoe, and that's about me.
Well, maybe it's about me. I am using your picture.
Mike, I appreciate it, but as we were talking, I guess you missed the memo on all of the albums that I've cut and all my Billboard awards. So sure, no talent. That's fine. And far from a hoe. I didn't even have sex till I was in college, Mike. And I'm sure you're still waiting to have sex, honey. And when you have that happen, just tweet us and let us know all about it. We'll be real happy for you. Moving on.
Is there any story? I know the fans of this channel like Brutus Beefcake. Do you have any stories to share from
I will find I wish maybe if I typed it in really fast. Brutus. Let's see if it comes up. It's on my other computer that I'm going to pick up after this pod. So I just have some really nice pictures of us together. Like he was lovely. I like him. I come from Minnesota, so there's some old school guys in there. Are you still in contact with Dale Oliver? I have not talked to Dale in maybe 10 years. So I haven't talked to him forever. She is a hottie. Well, I don't know who you're talking about, but
well,
no.
Didn't they, if they put your ass on the back of an album cover, it couldn't have been that bad.
Oh my ass is still fine. I still look good. I'm quite happy with the way that I look. No talent. Oh, you got to make sure that you put that in a promo. I will totally play it. That's when you are hot and you have a good self-esteem, you can seriously say anything you want. It's like funny. And you know what? like we were talking earlier, like I will get older, but I will always be hot because I have just a good sense of humor, and I've been through so much shit in my life that I can laugh about it now. And what we opened up, we will keep to ourselves. What you and I were talking about before we started this podcast, like, I've had so much stuff happen to me, and I'm so grateful to still be alive and that I didn't like pull the plug on myself years ago, because I've been in some really abuse. I had a record deal with Prince. Like, people from Minneapolis are notorious for just being like hardcore and horrible to artists. And I even recently recorded with somebody that comes from his school of thought, and like he made me cry. It wasn't like enough that I wanted to go like jump off a bridge, but like I literally had to go excuse myself because I was like, holy shit, this guy really is really mean. Like, there's no reason to be that mean to somebody. Like, I'm going to show them. And it's like in a vocal booth. Like, really? Wow. I mean, I'm just glad to be where I am in life, have a good life, a nice, humble life, be grateful. Like, I'm in a good place. That's what I was saying. Like, everybody that's out there that's listening, this is me being serious. Even the no talent hoe person, if you're obviously bro or girl, I don't know, you're obviously not in a good place, or you wouldn't have said that. And I recognize that, and I hope that you feel better. Like, anybody that's lashing out or saying mean shit, you're not in a good place. I like to say nice stuff to people. I get pissy too, but I like to compliment people and find something good to say. Makes me feel good, and I know it makes them feel good. But that's from years of being abused and just been through the ringer and being depressed. And when you're in a good place, joy comes out of your anus, not hate.
You're very funny. What was your worst ever dating experience? I'm
Oh,
curious
I
to
have a
know,
whole
'cause
book.
you
I have a
you
whole
seem
book I
like
would
you could
write.
take a lot. You seem like you'd put up with a
I
lot.
know. The Booger Man. The Booger Man was the worst date that I've ever been on. It was a Match.com date years ago. I thought we were getting along, so I did what I will never do again. Never will I invite a guy that I've never met to meet me on the road somewhere and stay with me, and we'll get a room and the band will stand there. Nah, we're not doing that again. This guy like literally did like a Scooby-Doo kiss on me when he saw me in the hallway. It was so gross. And then like he was really proud. He bought the band like all these drinks and like food and steak dinners, and like it was at that place that I was talking about in Little Rock where the pumpkin smashing was. Hi, Goldy. Hi, Edward. Hey, cutie. It was at that place. So, expensive. He was so proud to be with me. He was telling everybody, like, that's my friend, we're on a date. But then, man, afterwards, like, this guy was a dirty mother trucker. And I just remember I was tired and I needed a chance to, like, go wash my makeup. Like, you want to shower after a match, like, you just want to decompress, decompose, as I say when I'm really tired. And I just remember like laying in bed with him, like just wanted to just chill. Like I just kind of met this guy. We've been talking for a long time. And he was like, oh, so you want to, and I was like, can you just give me a minute? Like, I'm not like, you gotta like kind of, warm chicks up. You don't just go, do you want to? And like, he just kept saying like every couple, and I was getting like, at this point, I'm like super turned off. I don't think we did. And I don't think we did because I was just like, I said, maybe another time. I'm kind of tired. All I remember is like sometime, Hannibal, during the night, like feeling this like horrible serrating cut in my anus. And I couldn't figure out like what anyway, I rolled over onto a Dorito. There were so many Doritos in the bed while he was waiting for me to get in the mood. I guess he was just getting my shower. He was eating all these Doritos in bed, and like, I was finding them in crevices that you don't want to find a Dorito. Like, it was so dirty. Anyways, we get back on the road. We drive back. He's going to fly out of Nashville. So he drove with us from Arkansas all the way home. This guy was like constantly picking his nose in bed. Like I could just feel like this like rooting because I was like, I turned away from him because I was so disgusted. He was constantly picking his nose. And I don't think we didn't get busy the entire trip because I was so disgusted by this. I mean, there's so many stories like I have like that. Like, you know what? When you just meet somebody, maybe 20 years down the line, when you're married, you can dig your boogers out, but like, don't do that on a first date. So yeah, that's the Booger Man. I've got lots of stories. We could have a whole nother pod on just disaster stories. Another story that I'll leave you on, I won't get into details. I'm allergic to latex. Read between the lines on that one. So yeah, good stuff.
Oh boy. We'll throw in one last question here. Did you ever meet Daphne, who sadly passed
Of
away?
course, I met Daphne, of course, and she was always precious and beautiful to everyone. And the saddest thing about that is, um, I was talking to a couple of people that night that was it Daphne? Yeah. I was talking to a couple of people where I was like, you should check on her. I told Vince to check on her. I told a couple other people to check on her. And then one other person that I told to check on her, they had really bad blood with her and there was like some bad stuff in there. And God, that wasn't you, was it?
I've never met her.
Great. Okay, it was
I
somebody
would
else.
never I would never tell anybody I don't hate anybody that much,
No, no,
not
it
to
was
check
it
on
was a
somebody that
friend of
needed.
mine. It was a friend of mine in the business that knew her. And I said, you need to check on her. And he said, she's batshit crazy. Like she's done some damage to me. And now I know who it was. And I won't call. And I said, I think you should have somebody call because she's gonna do something really bad. Like, and that was sad because as somebody that has felt really low and been very depressed in her life and have thought about doing things, I haven't, nor would I. And I've made promises to like my mom, even though she's not with me anymore. I made a promise years ago because people were really mean to me, Hannibal. Like I was doing movies and commercials and modeling. And like, when somebody comes on and says no talent, ho, again, when you're young and vulnerable and not experienced and you don't have like this shield of fucking badassery like I do, stuff like that can get to you. It can penetrate you and hurt you and bring you really down low. So when she was saying certain things, she was on live streams. Like I was like, she's going to kill herself. Call on this girl. Like even if she's not crying wolf, like she's going to hurt herself. Like only somebody that's been in that kind of pain can recognize that. And that's why I was like, everybody was calling her. Who else? There was a couple girls that were calling, that worked with her in WCW. I even like reached out to Francine and said, would you please give her a call? And she said she's not answering my call. So, and Vince, she wouldn't answer Vince's call. It's just sad, like you're really hurting. It just, you never ever want to see another human being hurt. That's why I said to your little hater guy on there, skater boy, whatever, girl, you're not in a good place and you want people to be in a good place.
The one thing I'll tell fans, I honestly stopped caring what other people think. I truly don't care.
Isn't that a
But they
nice
all
place to be in? Isn't that nice?
yeah, but they all said you stuff of like whatever any random basement dweller like makes a video of you insulting you or whatever, and it's like, why are you sending this to me? I'm not gonna respond to this guy. I don't care. I'm not even gonna take the time to watch the video. So
Yeah,
just don't
I
bother
don't
sending us insults. We don't care.
I don't watch any I don't read, I don't watch, I don't nothing. I want to hear about good stuff. So to end this contest, GoldilocksBand.com, Great North Wrestling, the Hannibal TV. GoldilocksBand.com, right up at the top, it says just say
Your
yes.
website is under that in case you can't read it without your glasses.
Who,
I
me?
have GoldilocksBand.com
I
written
see it.
under it.
Yeah, absolutely see it. Absolutely see it. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, go check this contest out. That's the whole reason I want to come on here. Of course, I love Hannibal. Love to rap with all you guys and hear tell some good stories. But like, please do. She was really good on the mic and a lovely person. Sounds like it was Bastian Booger. Yeah, God. Oh, that guy was so do my contest. Do the contest. I want to see some people from these podcasts doing it because it's $2,000 worth of cash. I got a Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App somebody. Best bar restaurant in Nashville. Oh, I'll give you two. One is called I still do my podcast, Jeff. And are you kidding me? You've got to be kidding me right now.
What is that? The booger guy?
That was his name. I'm not even, dude, that's a shoot. It's not the same guy, is it? No, he looked too young. Jeff, put your face back on there. No, it's not, but that was his name.
He just uses an old photo.
That's not his face. Oh my God.
So
I about died.
anyone that wants to look up the other Jeff Miller, the dated Goldie Lux, go ahead.
Poor guy. He probably wondered like what he did wrong. Well, you went digging for gold, rooting in China. Yeah, do the contest. I want to see people doing it. I want some people to win some money. We give away money. It's thank God, Jeff, because it like literally almost gave me a heart attack, bro. We want to give the money away to somebody fun, somebody that's even the no talent hoe. Do the contest. Wait, take my money. Take our sponsors' money.
All
Hannibal,
right.
it's always such a blast to see you. You're such a cool dude. Alan Funk was saying, Jeff, it is funny. Because that's it freaked me out. Alan was just saying how he loves your show and pays attention to what you're doing and digs it. So that's pretty cool. GoldilocksBand.com. Somebody better do this stupid contest and post it to their social and tag me and tag Hannibal. Tag no talent.
Sing us out. Sing us out, please.
God, what would I sing?
Alan Jackson.
Way down yonder in the Chattahoochee. Somebody's got to give me
to that today.
Way down yonder on the Chattahoochee. Never. I don't know the words to that song. Somebody's got. Before we go, I'll sing you up. You got to put up a song that I might know. Come on, somebody's got to. You got to. I'll take you out on a cover. Let's go. Come on, somebody's got to pop up a cover.
While I'm waiting, they're going to. But when they're
hardcore.
Did you ever meet Tammy Sitch? Just while we're waiting for a fan.
No, who is that? Come
Sonny,
on, give me something.
Who was recently sentenced?
No, I never did. No, but I feel bad for her. She just seems like she had so much stuff around her, you know? Come on, give me a better song. I don't know hardcore country.
How is that a bad song? Isn't that in Tennessee?
I don't know any country.
A Mickey James song? I don't think either of us know a Mickey James country song.
I should. She's a good singer, talented girl.
I know she had sex with John Cena and other WWE wrestlers. I just watched a documentary.
Why you got to bring that up? Leave that poor girl alone. She's got enough.
Because I don't like her husband.
You don't like her husband? Why?
I won't get into it. The Metal Maniac's real name is Jeff Miller. That's who I thought it was. Oh, Hardcore Country is Mickey James' TNA theme song.
I don't know her TNA song. Well, you guys aren't coming up with anything that I can actually do.
It was some Pat Benatar, Invincible. Do you know that at least?
No, what song is that?
Oh my God. No one wants me to sing or they're never
I want you to sing.
No.
the Pat Benatar song. Let me see the lyrics that I like. I'm pulling them up right now. Come on. Hold on. It's coming.
I cannot believe with the amount the fans have been commenting that not one of us have given a real song, just Mickey James songs.
You know what was the coolest song when we opened for Pat Benatar? She came out with all the full flair, but then she stopped and did this song on a stool, a Jelly Roll song. She did. It's called "We Belong." Do you know that song?
Oh yes, it's a great song.
So it was thousands of people, and I just remember her sitting on there, and she did the chorus, and it was like, "We belong to the light, we belong to the thunder, we belong to the sound of the words." We both falling under whatever we deny or embrace, for worse or for better. We belong, we belong, we belong together. It was just her and a microphone and a stool. And it was just, I was like, had phlegm in my, right when we started that, but it was so badass. Like I've just heard some of the greatest women in rock, some of the greatest people in rock, where you're literally standing that far away and like got a chance to like hear amazing shit. Like people from back in the day like can really sing. There was no auto tune, there was no help. It just was raw talent. And a lot of the stuff that you see today is really I mean, it's good and everything, but it's simulated. It's not real. It's like Star Trek. A lot of people will get that. It's like it's a replicated meal. It's not really an apple pie. It looks and it smells like. You want to hear some air? Okay, so what's your favorite Air Supply song? Come on, favorite Air Supply song.
Don't wait on these
Come
bastards.
on. No, I want to. Okay, wait. We're gonna go out on this one. Hold on. I gotta
I'm
get the
all
word.
out for love. He's putting it.
Oh, I already did another one. I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you. I know we were right, believing for so long. I'm all out of love. What am I without you? I can't be too late to say that I was so wrong. There you go. There's some air supply.